Listen, previously you might have, we are not saying, hey, take the entire amount from Empower. We are not promoting that. What we are promoting, that if you previously you had a budget like $10,000 to go to a university, and with $10,000 probably he or she was settling down for a mediocre university, right? Even though he or she is capable of going to a better university, simply they don't have the budget, right? Now we are saying, take another 10,000 or 15,000 from Empower and uplift yourself, elevate yourself, go to a universities. You can get out of that vicious cycle where you are in opting for an ordinary university, getting an ordinary degree, and ending up with an ordinary job. Instead, go to a top university, get a top degree.
One thing that you said, that you guys provide the loan without a collateral or co-signer. How does that work? And a lot of students have asked us directly as well, like how can someone give us a loan without showing anything? How does this work?
Exactly. I mean, I honestly, I had similar questions when I was in Nepal last time, and one student went even one step ahead and asked, "Why would you do this to us? Why would you give it to me? What have I done?" Right? So it's actually interesting to see such questions, and that also tells us how our students are dumbfounded when it comes to money, because they don't think about it that well. So for Empower, it's not about why we are giving it.
Say a student takes the loan, and when they go to the university, how does the disbursement happen? Will they get all the money all together, and how does the interest rate calculate as well? I don't think you guys give all the money all together, right?
We just don't offer a loan against the tuition fee. We also offer this loan against living cost, books, meals, everything. So if a student wants to take a certain amount of money for his off-campus accommodation, they can also take it, but it will never be between the student and Empower. It will always be via the university. Right? So in 1 year, if someone gets an approval for 50,000, if in this first semester is 20,000, next semester is 30,000, this is how Empower is going to pay. And unlike traditional banks, we don't ask our student to repay against the whole amount. We only ask the student to repay against the disbursed amount.
Say a student comes to the US, and after the first semester they get some kind of funding or scholarship. A lot of students do get funding, like the RATA, and their tuitions are waived off. So can you not take the loan after that? Asking Ayush, how was your interview experience? Because you had a loan taken in the interview room, and a lot of visa interviewers in Nepal do not expect students to come in with a loan. So what was your experience with that?
I would say that most of them were carrying balance certificate or statement. I didn't see anyone carrying MPOWER loan or something. It was the first time anyone heard MPOWER. I was in the queue. There were a few students, and they were like, "How are you funding your education?" I said, "MPOWER." It was like, "What's MPOWER?" And then it was a unique experience for me. So when I went to the interview, when the interviewer asked me some questions regarding my financial documents and all, so he was really keen on knowing, my COA was too high, and he was like, "How am I gonna pay for my education?"
But our success rate is incredible. Absolutely incredible, especially from countries like Nepal. Even though a lot of people, they frown upon in countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, but here at Empower, we are seeing a lot of success stories with Nepali students. The biggest, so our repayment is actually divided into two parts. One, when the student is in school, and then when the student is after school. So during the school time, the student will be asked to pay only the interest amount, right? And the student will get another 6 months to carry on paying the installments. So total 24 plus 6, 30 months of only interest amount. No pressure to pay the principal. Then we will give this to a window of 10 years, right, to pay both interest and principal. So in total, our whole journey is 120 plus 30 equals to 150 months. Now, so someone who is taking a loan for this fall, their loan will end, repayment will end in 2037, which is a long window. Now, the thing is, if you are a student and if you tell me, hey, how the interest rate amount is too high, of course it's too high because you are carrying it for so long, right? The smartest students, what they are doing, our average loan repayment window is actually 5 years.
Okay.
Right? You know why? Because Empower does not have any prepayment penalty. So what's happening is, a lot of these students, since they're going to a STEM designated subject, right after 2 years, they get to work for 3 years. Right? In those 5 years, 2 plus 3, in those 5 years, they're closing down our loan.
In Nepal, a lot of bachelor's students are going to US. So as far as I know, Empower does not give the loan as soon as they are accepted in their first year. It's only after third year, right? So I just want you to clarify that. And if they're applying in third year, what should be the GPA and all?
Yeah, also we have a Path to Success program, right? This
Mhm.
Path to Success program is also an excellent option. So over there, I think I wish I could show it. So we are partnered with a company called Frog Hire AI. So it's a plugin. This plugin is going to be given to all the Empower students for free.
Mhm.
What this plugin will do is 6 months before a student's graduation, that website will offer a student a very detailed information about the available jobs that the student can have.
Does everyone get this loan? What are the criteria? What, for example, uh, do, do students going into agriculture field, hospitality management, MBA? And I would really like to ask about MBA. So, do these students also get the loan, or what is the criteria?
I think Ayush it was very brave of him that he went to the visa interview with an Empower loan, and it also says our collaboration that we have with the US Embassy related to a loan letter, and it's important because if the visa consulate, I think Ayush has a fantastic profile. That's why visa consulate officer gave him the pink slip. But what if they had told, hey, listen, I can't approve because I can't see your loan letter,
Mm.
right? So it's also a lesson for our future students that whenever you have shown Empower in your I-20, kindly take the loan approval letter with you.
Okay, so hi Ahad. Thank you so much for joining our podcast today and helping us understand what Empower is and how it can be beneficial to Nepali students. So before we start, Ahad is a member, should I call it a member, of Empower Financing, and he helps and overlooks the Empower financing stuff in Nepal, right?
So, to introduce myself formally, my name is Ahad. I'm based out in Bangladesh, and I'm the business development manager for Empower Financing. And I look after Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka market for Empower.
Okay, great. So, can you start off and let us know what Empower Financing is? And because let me tell you a quick backstory. So, basically, in Nepal, people don't really take out loans for their higher studies or when they go abroad, especially in USA. Firstly, the Nepali banks themselves, they don't provide a lot of loan because it becomes risky. And so a lot of students are not very familiar with the loan process or if they should take a loan. This is a kind of a taboo topic in Nepali market. So how would you introduce Empower and what it really is?
I think it's also similar in Bangladesh, because in a South Asian country, whenever people think about a loan, it has some sort of negative connotation.
Yeah.
But our neighbor country, India, has a massive, massive, massive industry in that regard. So I have been to Nepal a couple of times ever since I have joined Empower, and I have seen some amazing students, right? I have met with them, I have spoken to them, but the biggest issue that they keep saying that okay, everything that Empower offers is amazing, but at the end of the day, it's a loan. It could be a big burden for me. How do I resolve that? So, in a nutshell, if you ask me what Empower is all about, Empower financing is exactly what Nepalese students are looking for right now. That is someone who will trust on them,
Mm.
someone who will place faith in them that hey, listen, I understand you might have some financial limitations, but the way your academic profile looks, the university that have opted to go in, we are more than happy to give you a loan. And that's exactly what we do. We offer a collateral and co-signer free loan. And from $2,000 to $100,000 of loan is being approved by Empower Financing for Nepalese students. We are partnered with more than 500 schools in the US, and in Canada, we are partnered with 23 institutes. Our biggest student chunk is master's students. Anybody who wants to study in a master's level with a STEM designated subject, they are our primary customers. From
Right.
Nepal, we have students from who have gone on to study in Texas Tech, Michigan. Even we have Nepalese students who are currently studying in Harvard University with an Empower loan. So, what do we promote? If you ask me that, Ahad, what do you promote? What we are trying to tell our students is, listen, previously you might have, we are not saying, hey, take the entire amount from Empower. We are not promoting that. What we are promoting, that if previously you had a budget like $10,000 to go to a university, and for with $10,000 probably he or she was settling down for a mediocre university, right? Even though he or she is capable of going to a better university, simply they don't have the budget, right?
Right.
Now we are saying take another 10,000 or 15,000 from Empower and uplift yourself, elevate yourself, go to a better universities. you can get out of that vicious cycle where you are in opting for an ordinary university, getting an ordinary degree, and ending up with an ordinary job. Instead, go to a top university, get a top degree, end up doing a top job.
Right.
Right? Our goal is to make sure every student that we are recruiting has the potential to become an employable graduate in any part of the world.
Right.
That's why we don't even keep details of a student's father or parents. We don't even ask, hey, do you have any property in Kathmandu? What's your father's income? Does he have any asset? No. So we don't ask any such questions related to cosigner, collaterals, anything. It's purely we expect a student to study, and we expect that student to study in a top university that is partnered with us.
Yes, got it. So, one thing that you said that you guys provide the loan without a collateral or cosigner. How does
Yes.
that work? And a lot of students have asked us directly as well, like, how can someone give us a loan without showing anything? How does this work actually?
Exactly. I mean, I honestly I had similar questions when I was in Nepal last time, and one student went even one step ahead and asked, "Why would you do this to us? Why would you give it to me? What have I done?" Right? So it's actually interesting to see such questions, and that also tells us how uh, our students are dumbfounded when it comes to money. Because they don't think about it that well. So for Empower, it's not about why we are giving it,
Yeah.
right? For Empower, it's more about the potential we are looking into when we are assessing a student's profile.
Okay.
If you have the potential, listen, I could give my dad's details. I could have an asset as well. But if my intention is never to study, then no matter what you keep as a collateral or cosigner, it's still you are not going to pay it back. You just said that in Nepalese banks, they find it really high risk market, right? They don't think it's important. Here, instead, yet Empower is giving up to $100,000 of loan. So for us, it's a win-win situation. You know why? Because we are saying, listen, if you're going to a top university, which has probably 90% graduate employment rate, we don't require a cosigner. We don't require a collateral. We can simply trust you to get a good job, either in the US or any part of the world, or even if you come back to Nepal, right? And pay us back. And our repayment window is designed in such a way it never puts a lot of pressure on our students. We don't have a prepayment penalty, right? We don't expect our students to pay any principal amount when they're studying, right? And we don't also expect our students to give us a lot of amount during their when they're school. So our repayment is designed in such a way it's just small fixed interest rate and it never fluctuates, so that our students are always under the impression that okay, this is what Empower expects me to pay and I'm going to pay.
Right. Right. So, some questions about the loan itself. So, say a student takes the loan, and when they go to the university, how does the disbursement happen? Will they get all the money all together, or and how does the interest rate calculate as well? I don't think you guys give all the money all together, right?
Yeah, so the way it works is, for example, if a student has taken $50,000 of loan, right? In the first semester, if the total payable amount is $20,000, we pay it directly to the university. Now, some students for the US, we just don't offer a loan against the tuition fee. We also offer this loan against living cost, books, meals, everything. So if a student wants to take a certain amount of money for his off-campus accommodation, they can also take it, but it will never be between the student and Empower. It will always be via the university.
Right.
Right. So in 1 year, if someone gets an approval for 50,000, if the first semester is 20,000, next semester is 30,000, this is how Empower is going to pay. And unlike traditional banks, we don't ask our student to repay against the whole amount.
Okay.
We only ask the student to repay against the disbursed amount.
Right.
So even if your approval amount is 50,000, but in the first semester have only paid 20,000, what we are going to say? We are going to say, hey, listen, out of that 20,000, you have to pay this much. And In terms of interest and everything, we have a loan calculator in our website. Any student can simply go to the loan calculator and they will be able to find out how much they will have to pay. If you ask me, my thought would be, for Empower, the best part is there is no upfront payment and there is nothing a student needs to pay before he or she arrives in the US.
Right.
So right after we have disbursed the first tranche, we call it tranche or installment, the student has 45 days before he or she starts making the repayment.
Okay. So if a student gets the payment, say they are in their first semester, they got their payment in this at the start of the semester, and as I have understood, the payment will go to the university. The university will take the tuition fee and whatever their fees are, and the remaining will be sent to the student, right?
Yep.
And then the student, now after the first second month, if the student wants, they can start paying back some money. If they are working on campus, they have some money left over at the end of the month, so they can start making the payment then and there, right?
So the student needs to start making the repayment 45th day since the first disbursement has taken place.
Okay, they have to make the payment.
They have to
Oh,
make the
okay, okay.
payment. If in the first semester we have disbursed like $10,000, in the first semester, if we have disbursed $10,000, then if we pay it like on 1st of August, right? We expect the student to pay an interest amount, only the interest amount, no pressure to pay the principal, on 15th of September. Right?
Okay.
Probably $100, $120, $150, but it's based on the first tranche of the payment. So this is how he or she will keep on paying for first 3 months or
Okay.
4 months. Now, next semester comes, we disburse another 20,000, 10 plus 20 equals to 30,000. The student needs to start making payments based on that $30,000, right? Only the interest amount from that month onwards.
Okay, which I feel is a good thing, because then you will keep on paying some amount as you are studying as well,
Yes.
and you won't
Also,
accumulate a lot at the end.
exactly. And that also helps our students to build a very good credit score in
Right.
the US, because
Yeah.
since they are paying back in US dollar, you know how big it is. Having a credit history in the US is massive, right? So that will help them to build a credit score. So a lot of our students, we offer a 0.25% discount with an auto debit system. So a lot of our students have opted for it because every month we just deduct it from their debit or credit card and they get a discount for that.
Okay, okay, got it. And a question that I just had is, say a student comes to the US, and after the first semester, they get some kind of funding or scholarship. A lot of students do get funding, like the RATA, and their tuitions are waived off. So, can you not take the loan after that? Say you just take the first
Yeah,
semester.
absolutely. I think that's the beauty of Empower Financing. Since our founder himself was an international student, right? So he understands these pain points of all the international students and the perks as well. So if a student wants to cancel or just wants to lands a role, right? As you said, probably a graduate assistantship role or a teacher's assistant role. If they want to hold on to the remaining payment, they just can go to their portal. There is an option called Hold My Amount, and then he can simply put a hold on it. No problem.
That's really great, because a lot of students try to get some kind of funding or something after they are.
Exactly. And we have no problem in that.
Okay. That is great. Now let's talk a little bit about how a student can plan to pay back the loan. One I know is you get a job and then you start paying it back. But according to your data, or you might have seen a lot of case studies of students, how much time do they usually require to pay back, and does everyone pay it back?
Yeah, of course, not everyone pays it back. There is no denying. If I say everyone pays it back, I would be lying, right? But our success rate is incredible, absolutely incredible, especially from countries like Nepal, even though a lot of people, they frown upon in countries like Nepal, Bangladesh. But here at Empower, we are seeing a lot of success stories with Nepali students. The biggest, so our repayment is actually divided into two parts. One, when the student is in school, and then when the student's after school. So during the school time, the student will be asked to pay only the interest amount, right? And the student will get another 6 months to carry on paying the installments. So total 24 plus 6, 30 months of only interest amount. No pressure to pay the principal. Then we will give this to a window of 10 years, right,
Okay.
to pay both interest and principal. So in total, our whole journey is 120 plus 30 equals to 150 months. Now, so someone who is taking a loan for this fall, their loan will end, repayment will end in 2037, which is a long window.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, if you are a student and if you tell me, hey, how the interest rate amount is too high, of course it's too high because you are carrying it for so long, right? The smartest students, what they are doing, our average loan repayment window is actually 5 years,
Okay.
right? You know why? Because MPOWER does not have any prepayment penalty. So what's happening is a lot of these students, they are, since they're going to a STEM designated subject, right after 2 years, they get to work for 3 years,
Right.
right? In
Yeah.
those 5 years, 2 plus 3, in those 5 years, they're closing down our loan. And for example, if you take a loan like 20,000 now, and after 8 or 10 months, if you come back to me and say, hey, listen, or not just after 10 or 8 or 10 months, even after 2 months or 1 month, if you come back and tell me, hey, listen, I took this loan, 10,000, but I don't need it anymore. I just want to pay it back. Can I just pay it back now? We will ask the student, okay, only pay the principal amount and the interest that has been accrued so far. That's it. Since you are closing it down early, we will not be penalizing you. There is no penalty, right? So the students take advantage of it. So even when you are going to talk to students, speak to students, just tell the students that, hey, listen, don't look into the 10-year window. Always think of it like you can close it down within 4 to 5 years, because even I don't want our students to take such a big interest amount. It's very hefty.
Yeah, right. And I feel once you are done with your graduate studies, it's very highly likely that you will get a job, and that will be enough to pay back the loan in 2-3 years maximum, as far as I have
Also,
seen.
also we have a path to success program, right? This path to success program is also an excellent option. So over there, I think I wish I could show it. So we are partnered with a company called Frog Hire AI. So it's a plugin. This plugin is going to be given to all the MPOWER students for free. What this plugin will do is 6 months before a student's graduation, that website will offer a student a very detailed information about the available jobs that this student can have. For example, you have a student who is going to study AI in Texas, right? Now, if the student wants to go and study in AI in 2026 or 2027, we are going to tell him, hey, listen, in Texas, these are the companies that are looking for AI engineers.
Right.
And not all the companies want to sponsor international students, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to further tell him that, hey, listen, these are the companies that have a track record of sponsoring these many students in the past. This is their PARM record. This is their H1B track record. This is their average salary. Your CV matches to this particular job by this percent. And this is how you need to prepare yourself for the interview. And these jobs will be made available to him from 5 biggest job websites like Google, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, Handshake, and Indeed. So what happens is students, even because when people are graduating, they start panicking when they don't have a job, right? So they start applying everywhere. But 95% of them be like, hey, listen, I can't sponsor you, so I won't hire you.
Yeah, right.
So even because of this plugin, even before they have applied, they would know, all right, this company has sponsored this many, so probably I have a good shot at it,
Yeah.
right?
And
And it's an amazing plugin,
yeah, this is a very
right?
important thing to
Yeah,
have. A lot of students don't realize is beforehand, but this is a big problem in the states that you keep on applying, and you won't get a response because 95% of them don't want international students. So you have to be very
absolutely.
targeted.
Yes. True,
That's an
true.
awesome initiative, I think, by Empower to help students not only study but also further beyond after that.
Because we have to do it, because at the end of the day, we have given so much of a loan without any collateral or cosigner. So
Right.
if a student comes back to us and says, hey, listen, I really want to pay you back, but I don't have a job.
Yeah.
right? So we have to take some responsibility on that. And these students, they are already graduating from a top university, so they must be really good. All
Yeah.
we are doing is connecting the dots, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay, so the next question I had is, does everyone get this loan? What are the criteria? For example, uh, do, do students going into agriculture field, hospitality management, MBA, and I would really like to ask about MBA. So do these students also get the loan, or what is the criteria?
So our biggest customer is students who are going to study in STEM designated subjects in master's level. That's
Yeah.
they are our biggest students. So you know the beauty of the US is just because it's STEM, it does not mean it will only be limited to science related subjects. Students who are going to study like business analytics, financial analytics, accounting, they are also our students as long as this is a STEM designated subject.
STEM,
As
okay.
you said, there are some subjects like agriculture. I'm not so sure agriculture has any STEM designation. If there is, then we will definitely look into it. Hospitality and tourism management. There are some universities that offer hospitality and tourism management along with STEM designation. So we have no objection in giving it. But for MBA, yes, we do give a loan for MBA as well. So
Oh, okay.
STEM designated subjects, students going for masters, there are students who are even who have gone to study in bachelor, right? If they're in their third and fourth year, we will give a loan to them. And for PhD, we also offer this loan, but for the final 2 years. I would also like to convey this message to all the prospective students from Nepal who want to study nursing in the US, right? We are very much focused on giving loans to students who want to study nursing in the US. So from Future Ready, if there is any student who wants to study nursing, MPOWER is there. Even if it's an accelerated bachelor program for 3 years, we will look into it and we might be able to give you some loan. Masters in nursing, we are more than happy to support. So because we get a lot of queries from Nepal about this, and we are more than happy because in the US the demand for nurses is all-time high. So
Yeah.
MPOWER has no hesitation in giving loan to students who want to study nursing.
Okay, so I'd like to tell all the students here, if you are looking into a loan,
Yes,
just message us, email us. You can even email Empower if you would like to know more. But do reach out. That's the only way you were gonna know about more
exactly.
opportunities. Yeah. Okay. So, is there any way that a student can improve their chances of loan approval, or like, do they have to have a certain GPA, or if they are just in a STEM and a university that is supported by Empower is enough?
Well, the way I see it, if a student is looking for a loan amount, right, there are 2, 3 criteria that really improves their chances. For example, if you're looking for a loan amount that is more than 30,000 or 40,000, usually we expect a student to give us some sort of show some sort of personal funding from their parents, right? But if it's on the lower side, then that's okay. We approve the loan without any issue. So some sort of personal funding is important. Second, CGPA, we don't look at a student's CGPA initially, right? But if a student wants to take the loan for the second year of the program, they must have a CGPA of 2.8 or above for the in the first year. Otherwise, we won't be approving the loan. And you know, we are actually giving loans to students who have the employability potential, right? So if you have graduated in 2021 and since then if you have not done anything, we don't expect that student to give any loan at all. So we expect our students to have a good IELTS score or a Duolingo score. No need to have a GRE or SAT or GMAT at all. We expect that student to work after graduation, and if the amount is not too high, even if the amount is too high, we will give the loan, but we might ask for some additional funding documents.
Which is just to see that this student is good enough, not as a collateral or cosigner.
No, exactly. No, because if someone wants to take $65,000 loan, and if we look at the student's profile from in a certain university and think, oh, okay, from this university, if the student graduates, the student might not make enough money to pay us back, we will ask for additional documents.
Yeah,
Right?
got it. Got it. Okay, so last question before we bring in our next guest. And the question
Yeah.
is that in Nepal, a lot of bachelor's students are going to US. So as far as I know, Empower does not give the loan as soon as they are accepted in their first year. It's only after third year, right? So I just want you to clarify that. And if they are applying in third year, what should be the GPA and all?
So the student can actually, so for Empower, any student who is enrolled right now, they can actually apply for the loan 1 year ahead, right? So if
Okay,
someone wants to take the loan for the third year, they can apply it when they're in their second year.
second year, right?
Okay. So in second year, we expect that student to have a CGPA above 2.8, right? And if the student has some sort of credit score in the US, that would be great.
Okay. Yeah. So one more thing to note here is if you are someone going to US, you should definitely think about credit scores and building those scores because you
Absolutely.
never know when you might need it.
True.
Okay, so now I'd like to introduce everyone to Ayush. So Ayush is basically a student who applied from FutureReady this year. He's
Okay.
going for his master's in computer science in the States, and he used Empower loan for his visa interview as well, and is going to in the future as well. So I'd first like to start with asking Ayush, how was your interview experience? Because you had a loan taken in the interview room, and a lot of visa interviewers in Nepal do not expect students to come in with a loan. So what was your experience with that?
Uh, I would say that most of them were carrying a balance certificate or statement. I didn't see anyone carrying MPOWER loan or something. It was the first time anyone heard MPOWER. Like I was in the queue. There were a few students and they were like, "How are you funding your education?" I said, "MPOWER." It was like, "What's MPOWER?" And then yeah, like it was a unique experience for me. So when I went to the interview, when the interview asked me some questions regarding my financial documents and all, so he was really keen on knowing like my COA was too high, and he was like, "How am I gonna pay for my education?" Then I told him that I'd be using my Empower loan. Then when I mentioned Empower, the officer got triggered. I was like, "Empower loan, okay? Show me the document." I showed him the document, but unfortunately, I had taken a different document, which was kind of it was maybe a disclosure loan or something. I'm not sure about it. It was a around 60
Disclosure
pages
package.
document. That's right. That's right. I didn't had the QR
Yeah.
based document, and the officer was like, "Don't you have a QR based document or something?" And I was not really aware about it. Then after that, I contacted FutureReady team, and they reached out to Empower team and got my process done. And then I got my QR based letter. So I had to drop it off as I got my pink slip. So I dropped that document at NMB Bank, and after a month or so, I got my approval. So it was a great experience, to be honest. It was quite straightforward, like with the Empower. So yeah,
Yeah, and this also shows that the visa interviewers won't just reject you if you have a loan or something. They
that's right.
will look into it and they will take it as a legitimate weight for you to pay for your education. So I
Definitely.
wanted to clarify that among the Nepali students. So, Ahad, do you have questions for Ayush about Empower and what his experience was?
Yeah, I think I can recall the whole scene, right? Because I remember receiving an email from Future Ready people that, hey, we need this QR code later immediately because our student just received a pink slip, but he forgot to carry the loan letter, and we later found out that it was never signed, right? And the letter was never issued until the student arrived for the interview. So that's a mess up that thankfully we managed to avoid. So my question to Ayush would be, first question is about the QR code, right? So did you bring it up or was it the visa consulate officer who asked about it?
It was the visa counselor who asked about it. Actually, he was not so sure how he's gonna deal with it, so he asked his supervisor, and then he suggested to bring the QR document. And once that is submitted, they would make decision based on that.
Yeah, just to add a bit on it, right? Because it's amazing because for Nepal with the US embassy, we have had some good luck to speak to them about empowered financing, right? And this is where we told them. that whenever a student is coming with an Empower loan, they will be given a free visa support letter. And that visa support letter is very, very, very specific. You know what it says? For example, for Ayush, the visa support letter says, for Ayush Kushwaha, we are approving a loan amount of like 50,000, for example, $50,000 for his study in the subject will be mentioned, the university name will be mentioned, and the academic year will be mentioned. And then later on, it will also include this loan will only be disbursed upon verification on the USCIS, which means if the student has received a visa, only then we will disburse the amount. And it is signed off by our CEO, Mr. Emmanuel, and there is a QR code over there, right? And once the visa consulate officer scans the QR code, he or she will see the same message just to prove the authenticity, right? So this is very crucial because anyone can come with a loan letter, right? But the moment you scan it, the QR code, the visa consulate officer will be under the impression, okay, that's what it's saying on the website, that Ayush has received an Empower loan. So this is how they can separate between the frauds and the genuine students, right? Also, another key point here is this is a loan specifically given to Ayush for study. Nothing else. This is a study loan, right? I think that's another key point that our beloved Nepali students need to know. When I have seen how bank statements are taken, saving instruments, they are showing them all. But these saving instruments do not necessarily mean that they will be used for study only. But with Empower loan, this loan is only issued for that student to study, and during the study, if they need this loan for living, or as we call it, accommodation, books and meals, only these purposes. So I think it was very brave of him that he went to the visa interview with an Empower loan. And it also says our collaboration that we have with the US Embassy related to a loan letter. And it's important because if the visa consulate, I think Ayush has a fantastic profile. That's why visa consulate officer gave him the pink slip. But what if they had told, hey, listen, I can't approve because I can't see your loan letter, right? So it's also a lesson for our future students that whenever you have shown Empower in your I-20, kindly take the loan approval letter with you, as we call it, free visa support letter.
In fact, I want to add over here. So just a week ago, one more student from FutureReady, she went to the interview with Empower loan letter and everything. And she also, I mean, they're giving the pink slip these days because of social media screening.
Yeah.
But she was also approved of her visa just today morning.
Oh, wow.
So
fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, so it was a lesson for us as well, that you need to take the QR and you should have all the documents. So now we are making sure our students go all prepared. And go ahead, Ahad.
So I just want to ask Ayush a very, I know he gets these questions a lot. So how did you find the Empower journey? Was it very difficult to request for the loan?
It was quite straightforward and was very simple. It was very simple, to be honest. And I was shocked to know that there was no collateral and no co-signer needed. I had never heard anything as such. And it was for the first time I had heard such things. I was really happy to know that. And just the basic information was required, like my education, my work experience and stuff. That's all. And at the end, I got like tentative amount, like that much amount I would be getting and something like that.
Yeah, sometimes it sounds too good to be true. Yeah. So our Empower journey, I know every time you apply for a loan application, you get there is a customer relationship manager who gets tagged to you, right? So as a result, even if a student has not reached out, so for example, if there is a student who applies via FutureReady, and if FutureReady people are not available, he or she can always reach out to Empower for any query.
Right.
For any documents, right? So I just want to ask Ayush another question. Did Empower ever ask you for any kind of attestation for any documents that you have submitted, or any collateral or any details about your parents?
Nothing as such. I mean, there was not much document asked regarding that.
So no attestation, nothing, just basic
No.
documents. I think there are two important documents that we ask. One is proof of identity, where a student needs to upload their ID card, and a utility bill copy.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not sure about utility, but
Hmm.
yes, the
Yeah.
idea was asked. Yeah.
Okay. And so for with MPOWER, right? You are there was a visa interview preparation program, right? Had you signed up for it?
Yeah, I got an email to sign up for that, but I couldn't attend it since I was
Okay.
attending it with FutureReady team, and they
Okay.
helped me with the visa interview preparations. So.
That's okay. That's totally fine. So, what are you looking forward to when you arrive in your school in the US?
So basically, like if I reach there, I want my things to be sorted. Like education wise, everything wise, I need it to be sorted. I don't want to burden my family and the finances during the time when I went to when I go to US and all. So that's what my expectation is. So Empower has really given me the peace of mind for this thing.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Have you taken this loan for your tuition fee or also for your living cost, books, and meals as well?
It was everything included, like for my
Okay.
entire COA. But I plan to use it like my university has certified the loan and has lowered the loan amount for this
Okay.
first year. Yeah,
For the first year.
so
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. So I'll be using the lesser funds, and I'll be
Hmm.
using some of my family funds too, so I can balance it.
Well, yeah, it varies university wise, right? And that's totally fine. But if you go to your portal, so there is another thing that I would like to add. So with every student, Empower gives a limit, a loan limit, right? I think Ayush must have noticed it. So someone
Mhm.
who might need only 20,000, but if the student's profile is really good, we might end up giving a limit of like 50,000, right? And when someone goes to the US, if any time of their journey, if they need that additional money, they can just go to the portal and click on add more money, and they will be able to get
Mhm.
the additional loan amount without any issue, right? All I'm going to expect Ayush is to have a good CGPA. So when in the second year, when he needs the money, he can get approval for that, because for that we need a CGPA of 2.8 and above. So Ayush, I just have another question, because you might have seen our interest rate is fixed. What do you think of our repayment? Do you think it's something that Nepalese students can manage?
It's quite flexible as the loan term is quite long, right? So obviously, like after graduation, we'll be getting the job, and we can repay it within the 3 or 4 years of time period, and that will accumulate very less loan. So that's very practical, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I totally appreciate what he just said. It's very practical, right? Because since there is no prepayment penalty, Ayush can close it down at any time. And if you have confidence in yourself that, yeah, I am capable enough of landing a good job, whether in the US or any part of the world or in Nepal, you should be able to pay it back. And since it's always a fixed interest rate, it never fluctuates. So Ayush knows how much he or she will have to pay every month. So Ayush, I will not ask too many questions. I hope you have had a good journey so far with Empower, and there is a career option, as we call it, Path to Success program. I hope you will sign up to it very soon so that you can land some internships on campus, and then, as I said, 6 months before your graduation, you will have opportunities to check out a lot of jobs that would be related to your graduation program. So, all in all, if you have to rate Empower Financing, what would be your rating out of 10?
I would say 8.5 to 9. That's for sure.
8.5. Okay. So if there is one drawback you might have for Empower, what that would be?
The drawback. So far, I'm unable to recall what the drawback could be because the loan term is flexible. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's a 10 years term, and
Yeah.
obviously, like these things are manageable by getting a good
Mhm.
job after graduation. And also, 10 years is quite a long time, right? So anyone can get a job and can repay the loan. So I don't think there is any issues as such for me personally. I would say personally, I don't have any drawbacks. I've not faced any drawbacks with Ampower, so I'm not able to recall it right now.
Okay, that's great to hear. So Empower has no flaws. That's even better. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Ayush. Thank you for your time. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you,
you. Thank you.
Ayush.
Thank you.
So before we close down, I would, when you guys were talking, I had some, I remembered something. So I don't know if you know, but I also studied in USA. So I had a friend, and he had taken a loan from Empower Financing. So I know his journey as well. So his journey was something like, he was not from Nepal, he was from a different country, but he took the loan, he came to USA, and he used it for 1 year. And after
Okay.
that, he decided that I'll get into a PhD. So he got into a PhD program. He got fully funded, but and after that, the stipend he was getting from PhD funding was enough to pay back his entire year. I think he paid it back in a year or so.
Okay,
So
great.
yeah, I
Yeah.
have seen a lot of people who do take loans and who have been successfully paying it back.
So I can tell you one story from Bangladesh, right? So we have a girl who took an Empower loan to study at Columbia, right, in
Mhm.
quantum computing.
Okay.
And she took a loan amount of more than $80,000,
Mhm.
right? So $80,000 plus per year, which is a crazy amount, right?
Yeah.
So I asked that girl that, hey, how come you are not worried about repayment? Because when I asked her, she was like, hey, listen, I was never even daring to dream about going to an Ivy school,
Mhm.
right? And I know how much I'm going to be able to make once I graduate. So I'm not going to put my dream into a box just because Empower I'm taking such a big loan, because I know what I'm capable of. So my message to Nepali students is, and are you right now in the US?
Yes, I am.
So you know what I'm trying to say here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of South Asian students are under the impression, okay, I'm gonna go find a shortcut, get
Mhm.
into a quick job, and probably start making some money just doing a regular degree, probably a diploma or regular language courses. My message is very simple. Things have changed drastically in the last 5 years,
Mhm.
right? So you just cannot get away by having a shortcut. If you look for shortcuts, more shortcuts will find you and you will end up becoming a victim.
Mm.
So if you really think that you have the merit, we are not saying, hey, listen, for you have to have 3.2 CGPA from Tribhuvan University. That's not what we are asking. We are asking if you are a student who has belief in himself or herself, take the loan, go to a really good university, and get a very good degree. I know a student who took a loan to study economics in South Dakota University,
Mhm.
and she is doing
Mm.
amazing in the US. And I think she is going to repay within 2 years,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I'm trying to preach here via this podcast. And since Future Ready has had so many success stories with Empower, I believe Future Ready could be a great agent or a great partner for someone who wants to study in the US.
Yeah.
Most important thing is, if your dream is going to a top university in the US and
Mm.
study in a top and complete a top degree, Empower can be a great friend of yours. As Ayush was saying, he took this loan for his entire cost of attendance, and let Empower take care of your money. You
Mm.
take care of your education,
Yeah.
and the rest we can deal later.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we are also trying to impart in Nepal, that
Exactly.
you have to have good education if you want to have a good life after that as well.
Exactly. If you're not a genuine student, don't come to us.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same message for Future Ready as well. Like, we really want to help you succeed, not just in your education, but after that as well. And for that,
Exactly.
you have to put in the investment of time, money, and all of that. So I think that was a really great session. I think a lot of Nepali students will now know about Empower, because I did my bachelor's in India. So I have
Okay.
seen people taking loans to go abroad, or even in India itself, they don't
They have loans.
rely on their parents' fund for their education. They take out loans, and then after coming to US, obviously I see almost 90% of people around me have some kind of loan, be it their home country loan or from somewhere, and lot of them from Empower as well. I've seen a lot of Empower students as well. So I know that this is common, and it comes naturally to me that this is how you should do it if you want to study abroad. But again, I see a lot of Nepali students really hesitant to take loans. And
Yeah, I will add one point here.
Mhm.
I have been in this industry for more than 6 years now. Even when I was in my previous company, a lot of students would come to me and tell me, "Hey, listen, my dad is capable of giving the money, but
Yeah.
it's too much for them to pay it at one go.
Yeah.
Can you please give it in an EMI?"
Mhm.
Right? That's
Mhm.
exactly what we are doing.
Mhm.
We are making the payment at one go, and then we are expecting our students to pay it in an EMI, in equal monthly installments, so that you don't have to take a lot of pressure. So I hope our Nepali students take note of it. They can come to Future Ready, and because I know your success rate in this fall has been amazing. Looks
Mhm.
like all the students who took an Empower loan will end up getting a visa.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that. Very good job. Let me
Mhm.
know how I can help. And we are here in the long term. We would love to have more Nepali students, and it's only open to really good students and really genuine students.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining our session today, and I'm hoping we'll get a lot of queries. And if needed, we might do a follow up later on after
Absolutely.
this is released. So
No
thank you
worries.
so much, and we'll keep in touch.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.